everyone. How are you today? Did you have a good day? Well, hey, welcome to another power moment. Yes, a power moment with Miss Wanda. Right here, yes, on the Ever Better Talk Show for issues of the heart for the young and wise. Yes, my friend, today's focus will be to the adults. Yes, to the adults for the success of their children and their entire household. Today's power moment with Miss Wanda is entitled Uncommon Approach for Functional Literacy. Yes, uncommon approach to functional literacy. And by literacy, I mean, the ability to read, write, and comprehend. Well, that is a very popular concern and topic, or it is for the education system with school children, for their accomplishment and their academic accomplishment. But after graduation, you really don't hear a lot about that. So, and that's when it matters most, because the students have graduated, or now they're adults, young adults, they have families and all. So we're going to take time today. It is going to be a sensitive issue, but with love and caring, and you and I working together with empathy and concern for the success of families and children, we're going to have a great day. Yes. I want you to know that it has been, again, a great day for me. And my disclaimer today, I have a disclaimer, yes. This morning, my friend, I was reminded, listen carefully, I was reminded this morning that I don't have to be perfect. How about that? Miss Wanda, power moment. I don't have to be perfect. But I want you to know that I take this show and all other endeavors to heart to bring you relevant, yes, relevant, authentic information and presentation. But I want you to know, my friend, regardless what my critics, we all have critics, right? I welcome my critics. Yes. Thank you, critics. Regardless of my critics, I want you to know that I will strive to please God. Yes. For excellence. How about that, for excellence? Have I made it yet? No, but we're going to be okay because we're a friend and we're a family, right? But I'm going to strive for excellence and leave the rest to God. How about that? So if I make some mistakes, just don't worry about it. Just charge it to my head and not my heart, because we're going to move through this today and every day, because we are addressing real life issues. And life is not phony. Life is what life is, okay? So are you still with me? So you're in for some kind of show today. I want you to know that. So while you're here, I want you to go and invite and tag some friends. Can you do that for me? Please share. And after you share, make sure you like. Share and like, okay? Also, if you will, go on and subscribe to my Wanda Prowl YouTube channel when you're visiting my YouTube videos. And of course, today's show will also be posted on YouTube a little bit later. So whenever you go to YouTube, yes, Wanda Prowl, just type my name in the search bar and make sure you subscribe to all of my educational, teen family, teen parenting. Yes, see that? Yes, teen family, teen parenting videos, and they are available for you for again the power moments, as well as for icebreakers, for conferences and workshops, or just a share moment with youth and families. So okay, so again, my friends, I hope everyone is aboard now, because again today's power moment is entitled Uncommon Approach for Functional Literacy. And the term literacy always referred to the ability to read, to write, and to comprehend, okay? Many of you heard of the passing of our late trailblazer, yes, our world-renowned Mr. Cindy Portier, whom I highly respect. But I was saddened to learn that after one of his, one of his foundation, when he was just getting started, one of his auditions with the American Negro Theater turned disastrous. It was disastrous, and then he returned to his evening job. He was disappointed as a dishwasher, and he admitted to his co-worker, who was an elderly Jewish waiter, male waiter, he admitted to his co-worker that he couldn't read. Who would have thought that the Mr. Sidney Poitier, as we know today in his life, he couldn't read, but he had the courage to go on an audition because in his heart he wanted to be an actor. Well, by him submitting in humility to his co-worker that he couldn't read, his co-worker took on the challenge to work with him independently after work and taught him how to read. Their collaboration from that point on changed Cindy Portier's life forever to greatness. And learning to read, my friend, learning to read was his game changer. As you all know, that I am an educator and author or minister for many, many years in the education system. And I've taught in classrooms where I've had multicultural students as well as multiple language deficiencies. Students just automatically seem as though they, got on a plane from their native country and came straight to the classroom. So that posed an awesome challenge for them to be able to communicate and move forward with the day. But I can tell you, out of love and body language and empathy and the wisdom of the Lord, to work with the senior classmate who was from also their native country, I just want you to know you can get through it. And that's no reason to be embarrassed, because Sidney Poitier did not allow his language barrier to keep him from moving forward to be successful. So in today's world, and it's not anything new. It's been existing for quite some time, but it's not uncommon to meet graduates. It's not uncommon to have families. It's not uncommon to be working jobs, entrepreneurs, and still with a certificate, with a diploma, and not be able to be functionally literate. And functionally means you're able to move forward with your daily responsibility and obligation toward personal growth and family. Okay, think with me. How many adults do you know who will admit they can't read? Now, I'm not talking about calling a word or being able to recognize a sight word, go, stop, McDonald's, all the kids learn their favorite restaurants first. But we're talking about reading. Reading is connecting words and you understanding the instruction, the comprehension of it, and able to write. How many of you, seriously, know people who cannot read? Being able to read, comprehend, and write, my friend, are very necessary lifelong skills. And I do mean lifelong skills. And as an educator, we've heard our students continuously, they're complaining in class about homework, so much homework, and all these assignments, But hey, I think you all agree that you really begin your homework and your assignments after graduation and when you have your own family, that when it really hits home. And there is no excuse. There aren't any breaks. It is a skill we must have to be effective, and also in training our children to be effective. So it's like, it's the vital signs of life, like your heartbeat or your blood flowing through your veins. Education and being functionally literate is not an option. Okay? Hey, because we know the consequences for that. The ultimate consequence is that, hey, this world's going to chew you up and spit you out. Yes. 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 Use you. Yes. So let's move forward. Our country just celebrated, Dr. Martin Luther King and his contributions for equality. And I'm a firm believer he was a firm believer for overcoming civil rights obstacles. But I was certainly reminded of the educational barriers of slaves and African Americans back in the day during slavery, or even after slavery, how laws were created and there were devastating penalties forbidding the teaching a slave to read and write. And even those who would assist them, there was awesome punishment of anyone who assisted, from any race, black or white, or if you were caught or teaching a slave how to read or how to write. I mean, that just didn't happen. Well, take a minute, my friend. These facts should cause us to seriously think and ask ourselves, what is so valuable about learning to read and write? I know that many of our parents excuse me. Our foreparents, they had many challenges, and even so today. But education's everywhere now. And so it's almost like there's no excuse. But hey, life still happens. It would amaze you the obstacles that students and young adults will have for not completing school. And there are real life challenges. But what I want to encourage everyone today is that move forward. You've got to move forward. You've got to be aggressive to complete the process. Because if you don't, there's going to be no other options but failure. Let's continue. That's why we're here today. I want you to know that to be functional illiterate, not able to comprehend and read and write, it's a silent killer. Can you say it with me? It's a silent killer. And it makes it even more of a challenge, because once you are older, it's okay for children to be in a classroom. Of course, children, they become embarrassed, when they are not able to answer the teacher's questions correctly, or don't score as high on a test as they wanted to. That's embarrassing for them. But the embarrassment, it emulsifies when you become an adult, because then everybody is dressing up, and everybody wants to exhibit their positive self-esteem, even relationships. But the question is, we need to take time to seriously observe characteristic of being a functional literate. Yes. Okay. And this is not a discriminatory for any particular race, because here in 2022, it's across the board. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. We just can't look at the hairstyles. We can't look at the nails. We can't even look at, even by association, you know, in the quiet moments. The question should be, whether I don't want to get ahead of myself, but employment, whether or not you're working, any type form of employment, there has to be some type of documentation, whether or not you are a sales clerk, or whether or not you are, early childhood aid or daycare, or whatever position you're in. You're going to find yourself having to, you're going to have to document, you're going to have to write, you're going to have to report, and in functional literacy, all goes back into the success of that. Such consequences. So many jobs have not been continued. Individuals have been dismissed simply because they had the right heart, but they simply did not accept the challenge of pursuing courses or assistance for becoming functional literacy. And then again, this can all happen with the diploma. Yes. Oh my goodness. Let me just go on. Well, I want you to know that Genesis 11. We're not going to do everything that we discuss. It has Bible reference, but we're not going to spend a lot of time line by line in Scripture today. I want you to apply it to the knowledge that you know of the Scripture. But I do want you to know that Genesis 11, 6 through the 8th verse really got my attention. And these verses from Genesis is when, Noah's great-grandson, Nimrod, and he, they all built the Tower of Babel. And they were really they were doing well. They were doing so well until, the Lord came. If you can read the verses yourself. But verse 7 just goes on to say, it says, "Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech." Now, with our society today, and when you look at the vast majority of events, even right now we're into COVID, and we're still in COVID, but at the very offset of COVID, there was, and still is, there was such discrepancy as to accepting the truth and facts from the CDC regarding, the vaccination. And of course, there are always the consequences, and there have always been people in authority trying to share with the general public the facts. There was always, the to and fro, someone else having something to say. Well, that's just one example. There are several other issues that happen in our society. But if we're at the mercy of hearsay, if we're at the mercy of what somebody said and not get into the facts, not able to read and write and understand it, then that presents a serious problem for not only the individual, but for their family, their children, the whole 9 yards. Plus everything is going to have the foundation of hearsay because the inability to read and write. Education is the lifeline, my friend, of our society for personal, family, community, church, and career survival. Question number 1 for you today. Is it necessary that someone pursue a college degree to be functional? Absolutely not. But it is essential and the responsibility of every young adult, especially parents. I cannot say that enough. Especially parents, is to obtain functional literacy. That is to be able to read, write, and comprehend. Stay with me. Functional literacy. Functional literacy refers to the practical skill sets needed to read, write, and do math for real life purposes. Keyword, real life, not in the classroom, at home. Real life purposes, so people can function effectively in their community. Now, I don't have to tell you, leaderships, for whatever position that may be, there's no way your organization or your auxiliary is going to be, it doesn't have a chance to be successful if someone's on your team who cannot read. Love, yes. You may want to place them in a position where they are going to assist someone. But if that person is not literally functional for whatever that category may be, success is not going to happen. And this has nothing to do with you loving the person. You yet love them, yes, but you love the responsibility as assigned. Well, again, functional literacy also includes the ability to read a pamphlet, to simple things, to use a TV guide, comparing tickets, those little small things. So once we open our eyes, and once we begin to pay attention, even to the young ladies or the young couple or whatever the case may be, functional literacy cannot be hidden if you pay attention to the reactions of the individuals that you are involved with. Again, my friend, our PowerPoint today is uncommon approach. When I say uncommon approach, or today we're going to talk about practical steps, practical considerations for how we can get to become functional and be a reliable source for family and community. Now we know what functional literacy is. Question number 2, and this is the big boy of today. This is the big boy. What is functional illiteracy? That's the big boy. To be functional literacy is good. But the big concern is, what is functional illiteracy? Well, my friend, keep in mind again now, a functional illiterate person can very well be a high school graduate with a diploma. To pass most classes, all you need is a 70 in most classes. Or else, with this collaboration of testing and, team homework and all that kind of stuff, cheating, yes, it can very easily happen. So to be functional illiterate is when one has had some schooling, yes, some schooling, but does not meet a minimum standard of literacy, such as job application. I've seen it too many times. Job application, and you have too. A lot of our young people and young adults, they want to work, but if they don't have anybody close they can be realistic with, to understand their true challenge, like I don't understand, I can't read the application, things like that, then they would just go on masking. That's why that's why there are a lot of jokes being told. That's why there are a lot of profanity being used. Anything to camouflage the fact that, I don't understand. Okay, so job application, basic, and let me go back and say this right here. Some employers, even though I know we have a lot of online application now, but some employers, they really prefer you to complete the application on site. Then they're able to evaluate your writing skills, or they're able to evaluate just I don't know how many criteria just by looking at the application. So in the inability to be literate, a functional literate person, well, certainly poses some handicaps there. So basic employment, reports form. What about medication? Oh my goodness. Oh my. As simple as medication. To be able to read the medication, parent take child to the doctor. Doctor gives them prescription, or else the parent have to have or someone else to assist, whether it's the child care worker or the parenting partner, whoever it is critical. Reading and understanding of prescription and medication can be life or death for the child. Registration, registering children for school. Oh my, if you're applying for an apartment, oh my, to even get a driver's license. Not just in getting a driver's license, also going to include understanding the traffic signs and symbols, or either if you're in a metropolitan city where you have the public transit, the buses, you need to be able to read the marquees on the bus, so you will know which bus to take for your location. Maps and direction. To be functional literate has nothing to do with the classroom. It's the real world. Oh my. This represents many individuals who have dropped out of school for various reasons or could have actually graduated. Real life, my friend. Real life engagement, whether as a parent with children, household responsibilities, independent working adult organization member, parent volunteer, or relationship partners. And get this, some professional athletes, entertainers. Oh yes, entertainers. Everything that shine is not gold. Oh, I'm not against that at all. But it goes back to, if you're making the money, if you are the performer, and that's a lot of conversation about this. And the most recent discussion is, okay, if who's making the money, who's counting the money, who's saving the money. In other words, if it's your investment, you have to be a functional or literate to understand your investments and how to supervise that. Oh, can you understand now how important functional literacy is, and how to be functional in how dangerous to be functional illiterate is, the consequences. My dear hearts, we are living in unprecedented times, and our society has escalated from the fundamentals of reading to advanced use of technology. So not only are we faced with the challenge of being functional literate, just simply, the read, the write, the comprehension, everything is become it's in technology now. It's on the screen. So that poses an additional challenge. Not only do you have to read it, but you have to be technological savage. So now think with me again. I mentioned before that to be functional illiterate is a silent killer. I mentioned before that Black History Month's reference, that was rules and laws that prohibit the reading and writing of slaves. And with all that's going on today, excuse me again, with all that's going on today in our society, illiteracy is on the rampage. And this time, it's not about race. Oh, I ain't said hallelujah this entire time. I really wanted to, but I've got to say hallelujah right now. Because when I say it's the silent killer, oh, take time to think. Do people realize that? You know, it's so easy. It's so easy when a teacher's giving instructions, or parents giving instructions, or supervisors giving instructions. You know, I've seen so many times you go, well, read the directions and follow the directions. They go, well, I don't want to read. Tell me. And sometimes it seems like it's easier, but little by little, illiteracy, functional illiteracy is consuming our society. And that could be more dangerous than any COVID or any other warfare element that we can think of. Fear is a very dangerous thing. And when there's an instability of knowledge, whoever is talking the loudest, whoever has the shiniest gold, these are the people who want to track. It's going to attract the vulnerable. One of the presidents, I believe it was President Obama, said that if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. And ignorance is not to brand a particular person. But the fact of the matter is that when people are fearful and when they don't know, there are direst consequences. Yes. The heart is in the right place, but they just don't know. So therefore, in the education system, as well as parents, we want to pursue functional literacy for survival. Oh my. Oh. Please keep in mind, my friend, that functional literacy, let me say it the other way, functional illiteracy, again, is not a race issue. It's a 2022 nationwide pandemic. Functional illiteracy is a nationwide pandemic. Reading is becoming a lost art. According to the National Endowment for the Arts, the NEA, less than 50% of adults in the United States are reading literature, books, pamphlets. The decline in reading is across the board. From 1982 to 2002, we have lost 20 million potential readers. The worst hit readers are those of younger ages. The loss is 28%. The NEA says we are spiraling downward at an increasing rate. The reading decline has tripled over the last 10 years. Question number 3. Well, then who is reading? Men, this is from research. All of this is from research. Men are reading less than women, but both groups are reading less. For example, about 30% of men are reading literature. Among specific ethnic groups, Hispanic Americans are farthest the worst. That because of the language barrier. Although reading declines are evidenced in white, African American, and all other racial groups. It's everywhere. Question number 4, my friend. What are the 5 reasons, according to research, what are 5 reasons why people dislike reading today? In 2022, technology is everywhere. What are the 5 reasons people dislike reading? And this is reading online, reading books, reading anywhere. Well, number 1 says the negative experience at an early age. And as I begin to think about this, I understand. Because when children have a negative experience with reading as a child, it will make them less likely to pick up a book for fun. It's like, required reading. This grade level has, I don't know how many books they've got to read, especially during the summertime or for any grading period. There are X amount of books. They call them required reading, and I understand the academic goal behind that. I understand that, but we're going to also learn that children are at different developmental stages. There are different health issues that causes them to comprehend differently. That's another hallelujah moment. If children are being pushed too hard to become readers, students have shown that when schools are required by legislation and circumstances to put a narrow emphasis on isolated reading and numeracy skills, it can be detrimental even to the children who succeed. Like, how many books? How many books? How many books? So let's be for real now. We have to understand and accept the marketing theory or the marketing strategies that is also connected with this. But the bottom line is this, according to this research, if there's children or have a bad experience, if they are forced or if they are just a pressure for overwhelming numbers of books, then they're not going to connect with just reading for fun. And because they are children, it continues with them over into adulthood. Okay? So that's what we want to stay focused on. From a child, we think in terms of adulthood, because they're going to be parents. And parents are the first and foremost important educator of a child. So, and children, as they go to school, attend school, their success, their homework, their grade, they can only be as successful as their parents support them. So now the question is, how well are the parents able to support them? So here's another reason why people don't read, and we're mainly referring to adults. Reading requires sustained attention. Okay, they just research. It says in a world with unlimited stimulus, whether or not it's a video game and all these, reading out loud or verbal books, or it is understanding that people have trouble prioritizing reading. 75% responded said that reading requires too much time and attention. Hey, we know that does not fit. That's not true for everyone. But keep in mind, we're not talking about the academians. We're not talking about the college or students. We're talking about the ones who are below. The non-college attenders. We're talking about the dropout. We're talking about everybody who's below. And That's another hallelujah moment. We understand we're in the age of acceleration. The percentage of citizens moving forward, doing successfully well. But that does not pose the greatest challenges for the success of our society. Even the grade level of books, presentation of speeches, most of, that's another hallelujah moment. They are geared for more high-level academic acceptance, profiling. And the bottom line, yes, we want to encourage the lesser achievers to advance. But the reality is that majority of the people, majority of the reading levels are beyond. It's like speaking a different language. They don't understand. And the acceleration is going forward to encourage, yes. But the reality is that we've got to deal with the community of who's still striving. Because that's where most of the social problems are. Oh, okay. Of course, that goes to another reason why people dislike reading, overstimulation, or overstimulation. This is when individuals are being constantly, they're constantly processing or information throughout their day on their jobs. They got input, they got all these. And I just recently spoke to someone who is a professional or legal authority, analysts, when they work all day long. And this person just came straight and said, just like what I see right here that I found in research, which confirms what he said. He says that at the end of the day, when I'm done, I want to do an activity that requires the least amount of brain power. Activities like TV, and get this, preferably a show I have already seen, so I don't have to think too hard. And increasingly tempting. And these are college graduates. Number 4, don't like reading because of insufficient skills. And this is important. Insufficient skills, and I mentioned this before. Insufficient reading skills and mental health. We cannot assume that everyone is a reader. We cannot assume that everyone doesn't read because they are not intellectually motivated. Insufficient reading skills and mental health. There are many physical and mental reasons people may avoid reading. Dyslexia is probably the most common, but numerous issues could prevent someone from picking up the book that you keep recommending to them. Individuals with anxiety and some form of attention deficit disorder can have trouble concentrating on their reading material. This can quickly make reading frustrating, and nobody wants to be frustrated with an activity that they are trying to do for fun. And of course, the last one is going to be peer pressure. And this is so true, especially I've seen it so many times in high schoolers, or elementary, or middle school, junior high, the college graduate, even the college students who visit back home, or even the adult who's pursuing to polish their language skill, even if they are not, a professional college student. And that is the jokes. The jokes. Yeah, let's be for real. This is the Ever Better Talk Show. Keeping it real, issues of the heart for the young and wise. Let's be real about it. Whether it is a family picnic or you just visiting family members, You know, the person that's sitting in the corner that's reading always gets everyone's attention. Yeah. It's the young teenagers, you know, male or female. Oh, you reading the book? Oh, she's a nerd or he's a nerd, you know. All you do is just read all the time. Read. Some people just can't take the pressure. And the sad part is a lot of times they get pressured by their family members. They get pressured by their mom and dad. They get, oh my goodness, they get the family members who you would think would be encouraging them or isolating them and embarrassing them. Because yes, according to our different, or the learning styles, the verbal learners, the auditory learners, and some people are just gifted. They just love to read. And sometimes we read for understanding. We read for information. We read for required or readings to be successful in classes or jobs or other tasks. But yes, being joked about reading is a very real or situation. Okay, number 5 then. Then why should parents read? Why should parents read? Parents read mainly 2 important facts. Don't ever, if you are a parent, don't ever tell anyone, I don't read. I don't like reading. Or always asking someone what you say, what you think, you're not getting the facts for yourself. Because you are a head of household. The head of household. You are the chief in command of your household. The person down the street, or the hearsay, or to be able to protect your family from the laws, the crimes, the do's and don'ts, the rules and regulations, the teacher's instructions, the coach's instructions, whatever that guideline may be. Or at the very beginning of the year, or the school district handbook, or the laws, the driving's regular, whatever the case may be, the manuals, getting the card checked, whatever the case may be, you've got to be able to read. Loans, bank accounts, to be functional literate is the lifeline and the success of the family. Head of household. Reading to understand and to comprehend, and to care for the health and safety of the family. But the second thing is that you have to model reading and read with your children to inspire and motivate them for their education. And parents do not, and I've taught reading for so many years, of course with daycare and reading to kids, the benefits of it. And do not mistake fathers, mothers, because you may have limited reading skills that you cannot read to your children. If you hold a book on that level, a smaller child or older child, and preferably, the younger ones, from birth all the way up, and it goes deeper than that. Parents and mothers introduce their inborn child to reading and the personality of reading, even while the child is still in the womb. Scientific research will support that. I know that. I've taught this. To even read to your child in your womb. When the child is born, infant, they have different books or designs that are age appropriate. But just holding that child in your arm and turning the pages, and they are first introduced to books by the relationship, the cuddling. They're in your arms. You're turning the pages, or the pictures. And we can go on and on and on, but that is how parents at a very early age began to instill the motivation to love books. And if a child is not if a child is not introduced to books, reading, and sight words until they go to school, that child is already way behind. So can you understand now how important functional literacy for parents is in the motivation and care of their children to inspire them to be successful in the academic arena, academically at school? Oh my. Spending time together while reading aloud helps to create long parent-child bonds and promotes healthy brain development. Children, this is according to research now, children that are children that are read to more often have improved language and listening skills. They experience stronger emotional connections to their loved ones and gain lifelong love of reading. We may go over just a little bit today, but hey, you can shut me off if you need to and pick me up later. But we are going to, because it is so critical. Hear my heart in this. Functional means that I am breaking it down to real life talk. Real talk. In the implication in how functional literacy versus functional illiteracy is affecting our home, our relationship, our society, our churches, our community, our workplace, everywhere. Question number 6. What are the consequences of not reading? Children are poor readers. Children who are poor readers, get this. Are you with me? Let me say it again. This is research. Children who are poor readers are severely challenged with academics, emotional, and social issues. Children who are behind their peers in reading struggles with low self-esteem and feelings of inadequacy. Low achievement in reading is also the common denominator in school discipline. Oh, I want to get up and shout right now. I cannot tell you how many times it is the school policy for teachers to go over their handbook at the beginning of the school year. Some of them rush through it, some take time, and and it's along with parents, they say they've gone, through it, and kids tell me, I didn't know that was in there. They're getting in trouble, they're getting expelled from school. Bless their heart. And I just love it when I explain it to them. Oh, I didn't know that was in there. Reading for detail and reading for facts and reading to understand is, hey, it's not optional. Consequences. Most of our kids are, again, becoming imprisonment in crimes. A lot of them, they never heard the facts begin with. Some do, but most of them don't. Children who are behind their peers in reading struggles again with low self-esteem, feelings of inadequacy. Low achievement in reading is also the common denominator, I'm saying it again, in school discipline, attendance, and dropout problems, and juvenile crimes. Understanding, my friend, hear my heart in this. I love you. And I want us to talk as family. Understanding is key. If you cannot read, you don't know. You can't obey the rules or instructions if you cannot read and understand what has been communicated. And my friends, my final question, number 7 is, what can we do? What can we do? about the reading decline. What can we do? What can we do? I can tell you one thing. As parents, we talked about functional literacy. We talked about life skills. You got to teach your kid how to survive. You know, this is not about making an 8 on an English test, which I think is good. You got to teach your kids the skills to survive, because they're going to be lied to. People will use you, especially if they know you don't know the fact. They take advantage of ignorance. All the different activities our kids are involved in, somebody has talked to them and convinced them of a negative, what they may think is a good benefit, because they don't know. Relationship, parents. Yes, I know we are in COVID right now, but everyone has agreed over these last over 2.5 years that church is not in the church building. Church is in the heart of man. And the very first church is family. Family. Well, the same thing is true for education. Parents, it is law that our children attend school, compulsory school law. But school readiness. Yes, there you go. School readiness, you know. School readiness. School readiness is a book that I wrote out of the heart to make a change. But school readiness just simply means parents take to heart in preparing their children for school and to work by their side with the teacher so that they will be successful. Because the ultimate survival goal for all of our children is not the diploma, in which we need, hear my heart, they need it for social or survival, they need it for employment success. But the bottom line, you got to survive day to day. I saw one Facebook posting, and there was this person asking a little child on a tricycle, or say, what you want to be when you grow up. And it was written in like a little comedy strip. The child said, alive. And I went, oh my goodness, you know, what you want to be? I want to be president. I want to be, you know, a nurse. I want to be, you know, a scientist. But this child said, alive. Functional literacy contributes. Knowledge, understanding contributed to us being successful. So I asked the question again, what can we do about the reading decline in our nation? Reading education, my friend, is the most important factor. Reading education. Learning to read, my friend, is the most important factor. Learning to read early and learning to read for life. Learning to read early and learning to read for life. Life survival are major keys. The study shows that a mere 14% of adults with a high school education read literature. Only 14%. But graduate students are reading 5 times as much, those who went on to college. The study ends by concluding and saying Americans can no longer take active and engaged literacy for granted. As more Americans lose their capability for reading, functional literacy, our nation becomes less informed, less active, and less independent-minded. That's a powerful statement. These are not qualities that a free, innovative, and productive society can afford to lose. We must return to reading. Again, my friend, today's power moment has been uncommon approach for functional family literacy. Our power moment today with Miss Wanda has been the uncommon approach for functional family literacy. Your child's elementary teacher, my friend, is a great source to assist parents in understanding how to teach and assist your child with reading assignments. At the same time, my friend, you will have the opportunity to refresh your reading knowledge as you're working with your child. You may also share your vulnerability, just like Cindy Portier. Help us all around you. And your child's teacher will embrace you, because the most challenging, what is most challenging for teachers, that children are being sent home with very fundamental assignments. Their little sight words, sentence formation, and parents are not connecting. Not all parents. We talked about the majority, the ones who really need it. So the parent is not able to help the child. But if the parent would be vulnerable and be honest with the teacher will be so happy and embrace you for allowing her to share with you how you can help your child at home. Because once you are able to work with your child at home, that is that's helping her. And that's also helping your child to be successful. Help is available just for the asking. Well, I want you to know, my friend, that after today's show, I will also post some parental resource links from the website begintoread.com. Begin, it's BEGIN. Begintoread.com, and you can go there yourself. So parents can go to that site and you'll get information that will enhance you. Very relevant, very easy to read, but it's good stuff to help you enhance your literacy goal. Parents, I want to thank you. Thank you for joining PowerPoints with Miss Wanda, brought to you today by Resolve 2010 LLC, a Christian education family service ministry, yes, for student intervention, parental engagement, teen parenting, and adult healthy relationships. If this ministry has inspired or encouraged your day, please feel free to donate on my website at the top corner of my homepage at www.resolved-2010.com. Yes, www.resolved-2010.com, and there you will see options for Cash App as well as PayPal. Okay, well, let me just go ahead and tell you. Cash App is $Wanda, WANDA, Prowell, PROWELLJ. Yes, Cash App is $Wanda Prowell J. And of course, the PayPal link is on the homepage too. Okay, well, I want you to know that also on my website homepage at www.resolved-2010.com, you are also able to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and also subscribe again to my YouTube channel. I am Wanda J. Prowell, your ever better talk show host, educator, author, and minister, who brought you, my friends, a power moment. Was it a power moment for you? Did you get some information that you probably wouldn't get anyplace else? Hey, that's what happens on the Ever Better Talk Show, where you get issues of the heart for the young and wise. Until next time, please remember that America can no longer, my friend, take active and engage literacy for granted. As more Americans lose their capability for foundational literacy, our nations become less informed, less active, and less independent-minded. The hearsayers, the rumor spreaders, these are not qualities for a free, innovative, or productive society can afford. It's a fact. People fear what they don't know. We must return to reading, my friend. Well, I love you all. Stay blessed, stay safe, and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. God bless you.